So welcome to the inaugural video of my new YouTube channel called Garage Beers, where I'm pretty much just going to document all the whatever kind of stuff that we get up to, whether it be working on our race cars, working on our regular cars, or for what I'm going to be doing today is documenting what we're doing for our chicken coop. So we are on the acreage life and we love it. Here's the first bit. So we literally, thanks to my parents, they gave me like one of those old Canadian Tire shelters where the tarp completely blown off. This frame is still somewhat good. There's some stuff that's definitely not all that structural integral anymore. Like if you look down in there, that's not connected to nothing. But what we're doing is just some great old chicken wire going up top, a little bit of top cover for the hocks, 2-inch holes. But to go along the base, thanks to Princess Auto that was throwing out a bunch of their stuff, we kind of snagged it up. These are old racks, so it's going to be the base layer to stop any critters from getting in. As well, we've got her nice and wire tied in, so it's actually going to be structural. I actually did that to one of the pieces over here, where it completely rusted right through. And the thing, to be honest, it's pretty solid. We're going to keep going, and yeah, let's see how she turns out. Alrighty, tilling around the edges, we're going to move that dirt away so we can put our 1-inch square chicken cut wire. Plus, we're going to do all this, we're going to level out so the actual coop is going to not be all cockeyed. And getting ready for the build of the coop. So a couple little things there, some hardware for hinges and the doors and whatnot. In case you're curious what $1,000 worth of lumber looks like, check all that out. This will be the Taj Mahal. Those chickens better be thankful. Alright, so here's what we're doing for kind of an apron.
Around this way too, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
so we're gonna run this all the way along. One or the other, he will be a regular on the Garage Beers channel.
Are you YouTubing right now?
This will be 100% on YouTube. So this is what we freshly tilled up. A little bit smaller, the 1-inch holes for here. Just gonna lash it in. And then as you can see, as Trey is ever so beautifully demonstrating, moving the dirt. When this is all laid down, we'll put the dirt back on, and hopefully that'll keep out whatever wants to eat my chickens.
Use such kind wording. I love the fact that you said beautiful.
It is. You know what? I'll give credit where credit's due. Just gotta make sure you're going far enough, otherwise you have to do it all over again. I'll put the dirt back. And yeah, we'll time warp to when this is done. Oh, motherfucker. Yeah, so I'm still trying to figure this thing out. Turns out I hit the flip and you have to record, hit that again. So this whole thing will just be a giant blooper reel, let's be honest. But we got a lot done, looks pretty good.
When a redneck tries to figure out YouTube.
Oh, I tell ya. I don't know, there's some pretty tech-savvy rednecks out there. See you guys next one. So it's a lovely Saskatchewan day. Windy is all living hell. So here's where we're going on in the chicken coop right now. So I don't know if you can hear it, but here's what the floor is going to look like. It's 5/8 plywood at the bottom. We're going to end up insulating it because it gets damn cold. Some repurposed railroad ties. We did our best to kind of level out so it's fairly level as far as level gets. But that's pretty much her. She's coming along. Right now we're just starting to build some walls. I don't know how much we're going to get up because that wind is a-howling. We'll keep you apprised of right up to the next time warp. Alright, so we're out in windy Saskatchewan, carrying on. The wind has not gotten any better, but we've gone along, a lot of progress otherwise. Get the wall, the side's done, getting ready to hoist the back. We'll time warp afterwards because what we're going to do with the wind, no one needs to see. Alright. Alright, so here's what we got going. We put the top plate on, all the way across, made sure it's kind of strapped in along the side. Didn't go all the way, we just wanted a little bit for structural, kind of hold it together. The other top plate to go along the back wall. Now what we had to do, now you can kind of tell, so we ended up doing a mock-up to make sure we had the angle, so that they would go straight down. And then on the end, we pretty much were able to come up with what that would have to be. So we came up with the angle for the back. We did a quick mock-up just on the ground with all the 2x4s, and then as soon as we got everything standing up, it was all pretty square, maybe about 1/4 inch out to start with, and we'll see how bad it is when we sheet the roof. But then as soon as we got that, we trimmed the end of that 2x4 to make sure that it's going to still be relatively up and down, and figured out that angle after we did a lot of mocking up. A lot of time, a little bit of trial and error, but all in all, she's looking pretty good. I kind of screwed up. I did not do my 2x4s 2 feet off center for the back wall, so we're going to have to do some blocking in between here, because there's right here, she's not really hitting that stud. So if you're going to do this, don't do what I do what a real carpenter does, like my glorious neighbor, and go 2 feet off center, or measure off center so you don't screw shit up. Alright, so it's a lot less windy out today. We got the roof on, rafters all worked out, we blocked it, got the sheeting up top, starting on the sheeting on the side. Give you a little bit of a heads up of what we got up to, and introduce one other person that'll be a regular on Old Garage Beers. So for Garage Beers, as I mentioned, we got Trey, he's back, and another regular will be old Chris. So what we did, yeah, he doesn't leave. So we got that one on, plus we got we sheeted along the top. We went and put this block down the center, a little more structure, and so it doesn't twist. And when I'm up there shingling, I don't have to worry about falling through. So what we're going to do next, we're going to take this piece of wood, we're going to put it up there, just kind of hold in place, trace along the pencil so we know what angle to cut at. For the other side, we still got to put a little bit of blocking in, because that's where we're going to put the actual nest. But I left the plans in the wife's truck, so that'll be a later episode. So I'm putting my helper monkeys to work, putting some hurricane ties up. Curious to see how that's working out. That one works. That one is defective. And while those two people are doing that, we're gonna cut out, see I got that lovely gap. We're gonna use the scrap left over right there, and we're gonna cut some nice strips, go there. You can kind of see where I screwed up though. No, not YouTubing, I swear. Liar! So yeah, that big,
We have to save your fans, Trey. Fuck the fans!
and now we're an explicit channel. So that line right there is not supposed to be there. What I was supposed to do is take that bottom piece, put it over there, but I didn't.
Editing? Is that possible?
You obviously haven't seen how well I edit yet.
Do we even edit at all?
Well, I'm pretty sure I can figure it out,
Took a
but
whole bunch of clips, slapped them together.
if I can figure out how to do the beep thing, then I can make that work.
Well, I think you take like a beep sound, you overput it like me saying the F-bomb, that way the kids can still watch.
Well, when I decide to get different software besides what comes with Windows, we'll look into it.
What'd you say?
When I get something that's not Windows, or Windows free software. That's what I deal with every day. Alright, so here's what she looks like right now on the inside. We got up the hurricane ties. So we're going to do that. We're going to build the nest box next. As soon as I figure that out, then I'm going to put up some blocking in between so that way I insulate. Go for the bottom, just whatever the blocking is. And then the birds can get into the nesting. We got that little bit of a gap, but we've got a plan to figure that we'll end up blocking that up with some poly, and then over top just some of the shingles. I'm not too concerned because this is all going to be insulated, so not too much heat's really going to escape out of there. But one window, door, so she's starting to look like a box. Got along the top, so I mean that's all sealed up, and yeah, she's coming along nicely. Okay, so it's windy again today. Here's what I got. Didn't really do too much in progress, or video the progress, but here's what we did. We got the nesting box all put together. Essentially what it is these here 1x3s. These here are all 2x12s. Goes all the way down. and up here, another 1x3 at the top, and this here, and up there is 2x4s. This here is just leftover plywood. I didn't bother to block along the top. I'm not that concerned. But basically what we had to do is cut that at an angle, put it on. As you can kind of see, kind of screwed up along the sides here because it's so close to the edge. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. But we got a good one attached at the bottom. As well, this big piece here, we had to cut that to fit in between these guys here. Now what I had to do is right around the top edge is I had to trim that down a bit to fit in as well. You can't really tell with the camera, but it is on a bit of an angle because it's going to swing up and down like that. So we need a little bit of clearance to get into there. We're essentially going to have some hinges on the bottom, some latches up top, and that's what that looks like. We've got all the rest of the sheeting up on the inside. So right now that's about 2 feet off, it's about 2 feet off the ground. And when I build my ladder over here, we'll make sure that the rungs are a little bit higher so the roost is higher than the nest, so they don't turn this into a roost. And then the true test to see if it works will be, well, come time when we get some birds. Other than that, that's how we're looking. Now I do have that gap along the back there. My theory, we're gonna just redneck it, and because we are gonna insulate, but along the top, what I'm gonna do is have the shingles, have one set of shingles that literally is kind of backwards going over the edge to kind of cover, and I'm gonna fill all that in with spray foam, because spray foam is the crappy handyman's best friend. It fills all the gaps that I can't fill. Same thing with there. I'll probably end up spray foaming all of that, and then we'll just do bad insulation, kind of like we did with the floor. So that's where we are, and I'm kind of thinking as soon as the wind's not too bad, I'm going to throw some shingles on the roof, and same thing with the tar paper. Glorious ticks are bloody everywhere. There he is. You usually pull off at least a dozen a day, so I can't wait to get some chickens out to hopefully take these numbers down. This is us in a nutshell. The other thing I got to do right along the back wall, because we're about as straight as a country road, we're going to get some big leg bolts and suck that down. I think the next thing I'm going to do as well is I'm going to get some silicone, and I'm literally going to put it at all the edges. I know you're supposed to probably use acoustic seal. That seems messy, and I'm really lazy. I really don't feel like it, so I'm not going to do that. We'll just silicone all along the edges, especially like along all in there. Same thing up top. There's a bit of a gap, not really this side, but there is one up there, so I'll silicone all along the edges, especially right along there, so it'll be nice and draft proof, so my chickens will be nice and cozy. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look for some rubber flaps kind of go in the door, so that way the edge will always be covered, and that way no drafts will get in where the door and the gaps are. That's her for now. We'll when the wind dies down and I feel like fighting with tar paper, that'll be next. As well, because I do have a bunch of leftover tar paper and leftover that Tyvek house wrap. I think we're gonna wrap the whole thing and figure out what we're gonna do. If we're gonna side it, or what exactly we're gonna do for a siding, but we'll put some house wrap on it because that'll stop a lot of the drafts as well. And the other thing I gotta start looking into is vents. I'm gonna probably put one in that far corner, and then here, and essentially what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take and I'm gonna block a square for each one, so it'll just be 2x4s or whatever there, so that when I go ahead and insulate, the insulation will be in. And instead of anything fancy, I'm literally just gonna drill a bunch of holes so we got good airflow, and then on the outside, just to make sure that no rain's gonna really blow into those holes. It should be fine, but even still, what I'm thinking is just kind of like what you get at your house for your vents for the intake for your HVAC system. Is I'll run that, and that way, so even if water's kind of running, it'll just still run down, and nothing should blow in. That's the theory. that's how she's looking so far. So next time, well, we'll just time warp to the next, whenever I'm done the next bit. Alright, so here's what we got. We got that door on. I got those big ass hinges there. You can see the shingles. Now with the shingles, as it turns out, as I started putting them on, those are for the end caps left over from the garage. It's way over there. But I don't feel like buying more shingles, so here's what I got. I pretty much, instead of like layering it right over, so like the tar would hit on the tar of the previous one, I pretty much just raise it up or drop it down just enough to cover the nails. And then for the top layer, I took that lovely roofer cement and then a bead all the way across, plus at the seams and on all the nails. So we'll see what it is. Now down here, so I got these big heavy duty hinges, as well as I got these kind of latches. The big thing with these latches, so I can put a carabiner in them. I got 2 each. I've actually got 2 more hinges. It'll be kind of overkill, but it'll look cool. I'll put one on that end and one on that end. And then it works pretty good. I don't have to put a handle on. Right now the wind's gonna help me open it. But the way it's all set up with this big honking thing. So what I have here, I put some extra blocks right where I screwed in, as well as I put some there, because I'm gonna probably put some like thin layer of insulation. I don't think I have to go too heavy, because I mean this is these are 2x4s, so I mean it's gonna, not a lot of heat's gonna be lost or cold come through it. It looks pretty good, but yeah, we'll still do something, and I still need to do something up there, especially since I got a metric shit ton of nails. We'll put something up and along in there, protect one, because that's where all the heat's gonna go. 2, protect the little chickies from well, poking themselves in the head. Works pretty good. As well, we built a door. So again, big heavy duty hinges. At the bottom corner there, I'm gonna put another latch. Now what I did, it's 1/2 inch plywood and just 1x4, so I framed the whole thing in 1x4s, and I put the neat little cross brace. Now, when I went to the hardware shop, the guys gave me some great advice. He said when you do the brace, go from the hinge down to the bottom because of the way it all kind of sags. So when I built my door, I got it backwards. So what I did is I just put a next little cross piece in there for the X, and it kind of looks cool, so we'll go with that. For the hinge up here, whatever, it's all heavy duty stuff, but I mean, for when you're doing this little thing is key. I may or may not have already locked myself in because the wind slammed the door shut on me. It was a bit challenging when I did it though, because I'm going through all of that and I didn't have a drill bit long enough, so whatever, kind of went both ends, sort of lined up. It was a bit of a muck around, but we got her. Otherwise though, probably still look at maybe putting in some door stops. I don't know how concerned I am. Maybe just something, even if it's not going to work so much as a door stop, just so I can have something, keep a little bit of the draft out. As you can tell, there's a lot of light that comes in. Same thing, you can kind of see what I was thinking about before. Right around the top. Now with all those shingles on and no blocking, that is definitely going to have some sagging. So we're going to figure out that. Either that or because it is resting on that big ass 2x12 or 2x12. I think I might just see how it works out. What I am going to do, same thing, I'm going to put all the silicone in between. Now, because I don't want to, I'm not going to wrap it, we're just going to paint it. As you can tell, I've still got a whole lot of little gaps. So what I'm going to do with that, on the inside, I'm going to do just some blue sheeting tape, so it's just good old-fashioned tuck tape to stick onto that. And then probably on the outside, I'm going to run a bead of paintable silicone, and I'll still run the silicone all around all the other edges where I need. Now for the outside where you can see that that light's coming through for the actual door, what I'm going to do, I'm still, like I said, I was either going to do the rubber, if I can find that. If not, what the hardware guy said is he just used for the doggy door for his doghouse, he just used old carpet. And as long as the wife's okay with it looking a little less than pretty, in the back of that glorious dually that's kind of sitting there, that's a whole bunch of useless carpet. So I might end up just putting something like that in. Even if it's not going to be on the outside, maybe I could put a little bit on the inside and it'll work good. It can bend nice, and there we go. Other than that, that's what we got done so far. I'm going to put on the last latch outside for this door, especially since it is windy as hell. I want to have it braced up as much as I can. And I think that's going to be it for today. I might put on the last hinges on that chicken, that thing. I'm going to put that on just because I'm here, and why not? But other than that, I think that's pretty much it for today. If this wind dies down tomorrow, I'd like to get outside to actually do the roof. What we're going to do with the roof is we have some old, my wife got off from the job site, stuff that was thrown away, big heavy duty rubber stuff that they like for commercial applications. I think we're going to tack that up, and that'll be really good for, especially if we overhang it properly so that we'll have no water coming in. But that's what it is. A little bit of overkill for a chicken coop, but if it works out, then I should hopefully not have to rebuild anything for a long time. Alright, that's it for today. So it's another windswept day in Saskatchewan, still working on the coop. As you can tell, I got a lovely flow that is literally just from the wind shaping my hair. But here's what we got going on in the coop right now. Alright, so we got the tuck tape going around just a lot of the seals, especially like my little screw up there. And another one there, just kind of keep some of the moisture out. We'll do some caulking on the outside. That's kind of the last thing I'm going to end up doing. For the interior, I did make the chicken door. So that's about 10 inches by 10 inches. That's what the internet says is big enough. I'm going to use the wood that I cut out, so that'll be the door. I'll just kind of reinforce it with some 1x4s that I got left over. Now for the windows, so I've got some of the 1-inch chicken wire already put into place, as well as I got this middle beam, because outside I'm going to do the shutters, so this way when they come close in, they'll have a stop to go against. I stapled the ever-living snot out of it just to keep it secure. I'm also going to do another bit of chicken wire on the outside. What I did for my vents, so we more or less just kind of cut the blocking there so I can insulate around it, and then drilled a whole bunch of holes, and then I put a screen up here. There's also a screen on the other side facing here, so that way we can keep I don't know, some of the bugs, flies and stuff out. Did the same on the back, so hopefully that's enough. If I need to, it's easy enough to do, so I can put another one there. That window got the same treatment. For up top, so I need to get some more spray foam, but pretty much just all along the top. Put some spray foam, letting it cure so I can trim off the excess, as well the back where I had those big gaps. So we just spray foam that, kind of letting it finish, cure, set up, that kind of stuff. Then that's pretty much what we got for the inside. A little bit of caulking around some of the bigger seals, as well as I put leg bolts, so it's really helped suck down that bottom panel. As well, I kind of put them all the way around, make it a little more solid, because I don't know if you noticed, but we got lots of wind here. Alright, let's go take a look outside. So, the door, we got the latch there. That there is already come in handy. I think I mentioned that before. For the outside, so I just put these on, just because with these angled down, so if the wind's going to drive in, some's going to still get in, but hopefully we stop as much as we can. Plus, whatever's going to rain down is going to fall and hopefully not just pour inside. Silicone around the outside edge of that. Not much going on there. I did the same thing on the back. Now for the roof, so we had this big, the wife got some stuff from one of the work sites that they're throwing away, the big EPDM, whatever it is. We don't have enough to do the whole roof. So we tar papered the roof. Now I put some down just the front and the back. Just as a disclaimer, I am not a roofer. If this is not what you're supposed to do, I don't really care, because this is a chicken coop. But I put it down as well. I got about 3 inches overhang here on the front, on the side. Same thing is along the back, because that's, as it folds over, that's what fills in that, this is what's going to cover that gap, plus with the spray foam on the inside. And then I got a starter strip of shingles that we're going to do, and we're going to just shingle it all the way up. That's pretty much here for right now. The next big step is we're going to insulate on the inside. and we'll see what she looks like after that. Alright, so this giant mess, we're slowly getting her insulated. Again, I'm not an actual builder, but I don't know, it's a chicken coop, it's not the Hilton, what more do you want? Got some of the vaporberry up just to kind of hold all this, and then I can really get the sheeting. And if we ever get those shingles, the wife didn't pick them up, but maybe I'll go do that. Maybe I'll have to wait till Monday, we'll see. But here's how she's coming along. So here's the progress we got so far.
YouTube celebrity.
We got some of the edging on, framed the windows. We got this side done. We still got over here, we gotta just kind of go in between, make it look all pretty like. All the way around, how we kind of had it flesh up.
I had a thought.
What's your thought?
This is really high class and well done given how lost we are.
Yeah. In all reality, again, big disclosure, I am not a carpenter, nor do I ever claim to be one.
Or a farmer.
Or a farmer, but we'll try not to kill the birds. Silicone in all the cracks, did it on the back. And then we got the metal flashing there for the end because we did shingle the roof. I don't know how well you can kind of see all that. Now we're gonna get in, we kind of cleaned up a bit, and we're gonna start sheeting. We taped off absolutely everything, see how well it works. Again, it's a chicken coop, it's not the Hilton. And then yeah, we're gonna put the sheeting up top. We're making sure we trim it so that we can actually get on there. We're not gonna have one can get on a rafter and another one can't. The other thing I did for the windows, I doubled the screen, so we got this one here, plus there's one on the outside there. Same over there. And yeah, after we get it sheeted, we'll see how she looks. Okay, let's have a tour of the old inside. So we have our sheeting done. We did the roof first. Then after we did the roof, we did the sides. Because we didn't put blocking up here, up in all these corners, now if it's gonna sag, it's gonna fall on this. Made sure we cut out where the hens are gonna nest. Did that side over there. And from there...
Are you filming in vertical right now?
Yeah, because if I go like that, it's all fucked up.
Oh, you're an animal. Vertical filming is going to be the worst. Hey, you better keep that in the video. Don't edit that out. That way the 5 people that watch this will know I was right and you were wrong.
Well, that's the first one. And then there's the first wall we did. Made sure nothing lined up. Got my vent holes drilled in. Vent holes on the front. Took some of our scrap pieces for the top layer. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a sheeted chicken coop.
She's almost done.
Almost. Shutters next, chicken door, a little bit of edging, paint. We'll just let the kids go to town in here. It doesn't really matter, it's going to be covered in bird shit anyways. Alright, till next time. Alright, so here's what it looks like, and based on the advice of someone else who knows more about YouTubing, we gotta hold our phone this way. So let's look at what we got. So all of the sheeting is up, some gaps. I started to kind of fill in with silicone, then I kind of figured, why? It's a chicken coop. There's some pretty big gaps, some spots, but I mean, what are you gonna do? Like I said, not the Hilton, I'm not a carpenter. We've got our vents, hopefully that lets enough air flow through. What is sealed is in there. It all looks good. What we did on the outside, so we finished up the edging, including kind of in there, and as well we got the shutters up. One thing I'm still gonna do is add a chain just to kind of hold them open. The only thing is with the winds, as you've noticed, it gets to be pretty bad, so I gotta make sure they're not gonna get blown away. Just like that, they close pretty good. I had it closed during a windstorm, nothing kind of tore itself apart. That'll hold her pretty good. I got it open just so I have some light on the inside. We also have our chicken door there. As you can tell, So just a single hinge. I do have an eyelet there, an eyelet there. I'm going to attach the chain with a little S-hook just to hold it up. Edging all the way around except for the back. Same thing, shutters on this side. I did take the Sawzall to knock off the sharp bits because they were getting caught on here. But that's here right now. Next, we are going to be putting some laminate floor in. Then we're going to do the roosting ladder. So just some stuff from the house. We're going to lay that. We're just going to tack it down with some staples so it's easy to take out if I need to replace it. And I'll show you what I'm going to do after I'm done for the roosting ladder. Alright, so here's what it looks like, and based on the advice of someone else who knows more about YouTubing, we gotta hold our phone this way. So let's look at what we got. Okay, so here's where we are, getting close to the end of the day. As you can see, so we had a whole bunch of this rubber matting. This is what we put on the floor. I had lino. It covered maybe not even half. We got one strip. So we had this leftover rubber, and so we put that on the floor. And then I kind of I went up on the walls. I could probably go up a little bit higher on that one. See if I got a few extra scraps. We went around some there. The method here is it'll just be a lot easier, whatever, to clean. And it should rot the wood out a little bit less. We'll see. In theory, this should be the area where most of the poop is, because here is the roost. Now what we got, that first one is 2 feet off the ground. And the next one worked out to be about 2 feet apiece. They got about that 18 inches in between. So this way, if they're gonna roost multi-level, they won't get too much up there. But they should have enough space up there at least. So that if they are sleeping, as long as, like, there shouldn't be any way where they'd actually crap on each other. That's kind of the big thing here. And then, like I said, if I keep going up top for anyone that want to roost up there, I don't know how many are going to get in that corner. But I think a lot of it's going to be just kind of trial and error. It should be easy enough. Just take a hammer, we can knock a lot of that out. But that's essentially what we got there. I've been told I need to build a ramp. Now, like I said, that is a little bit probably too high. Probably could have dropped that about 8 inches. So it's only about like 16 inches off the ground. That is 2 feet. So I'm hoping that this looks way more appealing to roost on than that does. Because I want that to be the nest and not a roost. But time will tell. Apparently chickens are coming on Sunday. Today's Friday. So we'll be able to start laying stuff down. Now it's just a matter of, building a little bit of a ramp for that. Building a ramp for that. Just because I don't know when I'm going to be able to paint. It looks like we'll be painting around the fence because I'm going to head out next to go and staple all and secure that fence to the coop and start getting it. I'm not going to do the whole thing around. Just because I do want to try to get as much of the paint on there as I can, but that'll be the next thing I show you. Alright, here's the last thing I did. So we got a walkway, just use some leftover of that big old 2x12 we had. A little bit of overkill, but I don't think I ever have to worry about it warping. What I did though is there's some 2x4 there. Tried my best to nail it in. Again, I don't imagine how big of heavy birds are going to be on there. It can support my weight for now. But even still, I got a little piece of wood. So as time goes on, and if that sinks in, I just take a hammer, thump that in, and we got that kind of support. Picked up the hinges, one simple hinge, little lock. We got an eyelet right there. We're going to put a chain and a little S-hook. Same thing up there. It works just fine. They can get in, it'll stay latched up top. Then down at the bottom, nice and snug right now. So we'll see how well that holds up. Otherwise, that's pretty much it for right now. That's all I'm doing for tonight. Tomorrow, we're gonna seal up that hole that I put there, and I'm gonna probably put a door in right there. Use a bunch of scrap lumber, so we're gonna fabricate something, see how it turns out. All right, until then. Alright, here's what I got going on today. So this is where we're putting the door. Here's what the freestanding door looks like. We've got, we made just a door frame out of 2x4s. Then we made a piece coming out, piece coming up to kind of support that way. and then just to support the base. I've got looks like little 90-degree angle pieces for all the uprights. Some going straight across just for the bottom. Now for the door, this is where I just bought a gate kit, kind of keep it a little more square than what I figured I could probably do. Now the issue though is that latch at the bottom, which is a lot like what we have on the door. I gotta be able to find a way, if I cut, maybe just have a little opening here so that I can just get my hand in so that I can undo it but not have sharp edges. So that's kind of what we're figuring. She's a little warped, but that's because the wood I'm using is some old stuff that's been sitting beside our sea can for about the past year. So here's kind of the impasse. Without that piece though, it works fine. I got this, so when you push on that normally, it's got a little bar. I don't feel like crawling in. But it's got that bar, lifts it up so I can get it both inside and out. But because I do need that second one on there because everything's so warped, I gotta find, maybe that just isn't the right latch to have on there. We'll see. But I'll show you when I figure it out. I gotta go inside and do some actual work from the office. Alright, so another glorious day in old Saskatchewan here. And let's take a look at what we've got going on for our chicken coop today. So we made up the ramps. We just took some of the leftover cut-offs of 2x4s and stuff. And just took some roofing nails, kind of tacked them in place. Now, you'll see those are the metal brackets right here. We're going to attach one end to there. And the other end's going to go inside. I'll show you the little setup so we can just pick it up real easy. This is pretty much all done. We got this sewed up. We put some more wire ties there. I mean, there's still a vulnerable point within there, so I might look at just stapling some wire on. We got the fence or the gates all good and done. A little firm, but she's good. Now for the inside. So we just threw down underneath here just some styrofoam insulation, cut it out, put it in, put the plywood on top, measured it in. Same thing for there. We did the top next, as you can see, all the way, and then to kind of help hold up the sides, so you can see like there's just the insulation there, and we got that. Shouldn't be an issue with it being exposed so much. I mean, it is styrofoam. Chickens can't get to it. It'll be a little bit of blocking, and it's in there pretty firm. I did have to shim it. See up top, I just took some spare plywood that was already cut nice and thin like that, cut it to length, and just kind of tapped it in place. Now it's holding it, and it actually helped hold this up quite a bit more. So that'll help. I'm still looking at putting a piece of blocking in the middle, kind of help support with all those shingles. Now here's those little metal clips. I went and bent them at an angle so I can attach one to the ramp. And the other one is just going to slip into there. So that way when it's cleaning, we can just take the ramps right out. And it'll be a lot easier for cleaning. To be honest, I think as soon as I get that done, I'm going to call her quits. The ever so helpful kid started to help paint around the edge. You can tell she can reach that high. And I think I'm going to, after I'm done, I'm going to just start painting to get her just a little more pretty. Keep going, and then just put up the chains for the shutters and for the chicken door, and then we're pretty much almost done. Alright, so chicken coop is done being built. Last thing we have to do is actually paint it. So here's the video of what it's going to look like. Okay, we got about 2 bags of shavings on the ground. Water's right there. We'll put a feeder around this area too, probably in the middle. We're going to kind of just play with it, see how it goes, figure out the best spot. Fill that up with shavings. We're probably going to end up throwing a bunch of straw in there as well. The ramps are up. Remember, I was kind of showing you, that's literally all they're attached on. So they come off real easy for when we want to clean. And a little messed up, but it's thin metal, bends whenever we want. There's the roost. We started the painting. The wind is, like it's been for the rest of the video, all over the place. So I don't want to put a nice pretty blue and all that. There's a lovely wife in the background. Hi, dear.
Hi, babe.
In her finest farmer wear. So that's what it is. We're going to clean up the hinges and all that so it looks a lot nicer, even though we'll never see it from afar. All cleaned up in here. They got the ramp. Still probably have to put some more predator protection around, just a little bit higher. All looks good. Birds are coming tonight. And we'll probably run a new video of what we do to actually raise it. But we will do that after we figure out how to raise chickens, and hopefully we don't kill them all right off the hop. Alright, that's pretty much it for this first episode. And yeah, we'll kind of post updates as things keep going.